Let's talk more about today's vote. I'm joined by Justin Elzie and Joe Sudbay. Justin is in New York, and he was the first Marine discharged under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. Joe is in Washington now. He is a deputy editor of AmericaBlog. Thanks to both of you for joining us. So, Justin, do you feel like that you started all of this and look where it ended?
Well, Don, I'm actually very happy today. I think this is a great first step. And, you know, I think it really speaks to the fairness and equality that we subscribe to as Americans here. And I'm glad that the senators listened to the majority of service members who said that this change would be a positive change and no negative effect to military readiness.
Any regrets? If you had to do it all over again, would you do the same thing, or would you, if you had foresight that this day would happen, would you have come out still?
Absolutely. As I'm not sure the viewers are aware, I actually, after I was discharged under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, I was actually reinstated and went on to serve 4 years openly gay in the Marine Corps. And I actually just wrote a book about it. And I talk about those 4 years in the Marine Corps. Yeah.
Since you're pimping your book, what is it? What's the name of your book?
The title of my book is called Playing by the Rules, and it's really about my experience being the first Marine discharged under this policy and serving openly gay in the Marines.
Okay, since you brought it up, you may as well go all the way with it. All right, let's talk to Joe in Washington. So, Joe, it's America's Blog, the blog that you do. I spoke with Michelangelo Signorelli earlier, who does a radio show, and he's been getting response from his listeners. What are people saying about online? We've gotten lots of tweets, and most people are supportive, but not all of America is.
Well, and on our blog, people are very supportive. We've worked very hard to get to this point. It was a long struggle. Justin helped start the struggle 17 years ago. In the past 2 years, really were a lot of work by a lot of folks to actually get to the point where this happened. I mean, there's a lot of activity in the past few days, in the past few weeks in Congress, but it took a lot of activity, a lot of activism over the past 2 years to push the White House, to push Congress, to make sure this really happened. So on our blog, our readers are ecstatic. This is a big win for equality, and it's a long-awaited win for equality.
Okay, I can't hear you. Were you able to hear him on the air, or is it just me who can't hear him? We're good. Okay, well, someone has the IFB keyed. I can't hear the guest. So anyway, I'm sorry, I could not hear your answer, so I don't have a follow-up. I'm going to have to go on to Justin, who I can hear. So, Justin, have you spoken to men and women who have been released under... Better question, have you spoken to men and women who are still in the military now, and how are they feeling about today's vote?
Absolutely. As you're probably aware of, there's an organization called OutServe, which has a large network of gays and lesbians in the military, and a lot of them are really excited about this, that finally they're not going to have to lie anymore and have to look over their shoulders and be worried about being fired. So I think this is a really good day. And, you know, I just hope that people realize that there is still a lot of work to be done, that it's not safe to come out yet, and that we don't want the Pentagon slow-walking this implementation plan. So we need to keep a watch on that and make sure that they implement those policies sooner rather than later.
Okay, I'm going to be bold here and ask Joe another question. I know that I can hear him, but the audience can. So, listen, what does this mean for the rest of the country beyond the military? And I'll ask a similar question that I asked to the guest earlier. Is this a watershed moment when it comes to America and dealing with gay rights or homophobia?
I think it actually is a very important moment for America. You got to remember, this legislation has very broad support. It is supported by almost 80% of the American people. This is not a controversial issue for the American people. They've moved past it. And I think that's really significant. The military is viewed as a bastion. You know, it's an important symbol to America, and it's one of the last places where discrimination against gay people was legally sanctioned. That's no longer the case. And I also think it's important that the politics have changed. I mean, just a few months ago, the president was at the G20 summit, and he said that people told him not to do Don't Ask, Don't Tell because it was bad politics. But what we're seeing is actually it's good politics. It's very good politics. This is going to be viewed as a great victory for the Obama administration. We had to kind of drag them to get to this point, and we had to drag Congress to get there, but the people who voted for it are going to view it as it's going to be a big political win for them. The political dynamics have changed dramatically in terms of how gay issues are viewed, and I think that's the watershed, and it will lead to more significant equality for gay and lesbian people in America, the whole LGBT community.
And luckily, Joe, I heard every word of that. Thank you very much, Joe Sudbay and Justin Elzie. We appreciate your time this evening.